Hi ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we did an update on henchmen and companions and it wasn't our best update ever. So today we're going to give it another try to explain you better what the difference is between henchmen and companions and what exactly it is that we're trying to do with our 800k stretch goal. Okay, so my handwriting is unreadable, I know, so I'll explain. We have henchmen, we have companions, right? There's going to be more henchmen than there are going to be companions. You can recruit henchmen at recruiters, or occasionally you might encounter them in the wild. You will find companions throughout the world of Revelon, and they will be related to the story. Okay? There will be, because there's many henchmen, there will be many different combat builds to be found. You might find a fire mage, you might find somebody who's specialized in wielding very big crushing weapons, and you might find somebody who is extremely good at healing or maybe a little bit roguey. Your companions will also have combat abilities, but given that there's going to be less companions, it will be limited in amount of combat builds that you can find in the world. That wasn't a very good phrase, but we'll live with it. The henchmen have backgrounds, yeah, so when you're going to question them, who are you, where do you come from, they'll have something sensible to say, but they're actually going to pick their backgrounds from a pool of available backgrounds, right? So let's say we have like 300 types of henchmen, because we have this design, your henchman tier, then there might be 50 pools of backgrounds and the game will just pick one and assign it to the henchman you recruited. Likewise, they will have dialogues which are going to come from this pool of dialogues, which are going to fit with those backgrounds. But these are not going to be very complex and deep dialogue sessions. These are going to be rather simple dialogues. However, our companions have a lot of background. They'll have an entire story arc, they'll have a whole bunch of things to tell you, and obviously that means they will have a lot of dialogue. What our henchmen are not going to have are reactions to what the party is going to be doing during its adventure. Our companions, on the other hand, have an opinion, and they will definitely vent their opinion depending on what you're going to be doing. That means that they're also going to be involved in this entire affinity and affection system that we have going for our main party members. Affection means that do I like you or don't I like you? Affinity means do I think alike or don't we think alike? Okay? So if I, for instance, do something which is really going to upset somebody else, then his affection is going to go down. Likewise, if I do something which really goes against the beliefs of somebody, then his affinity will go down. Now these are going to affect a stat which we haven't mentioned yet, which is called morale. Henchmen also have morale, but companions are much more affected by that morale stat. What does morale do? Well, it basically affects your combat abilities. A high morale, you're better in combat. A low morale, you suck at combat. All right? By the way, morale not only affects henchmen and companions, it also affects all the characters in the world. So more about that maybe later. So we have morale, which is affected by affinity and affection, which is again affected by the reactions to decisions that you make, and all this leads to a very nice system for the companions. The henchmen have morale too, but it's going to be much simpler in the way that it's going to be affected. Okay, and you can do a lot about the henchman's morale by offering a lot of cash. Which is not necessarily going to be the case for the companions. The henchmen have no story. The companions have story. It means that there's going to be quests associated with them. You'll be able to help them out or not help them out, depending on how you're going to play the game. On top of that, our companions are going to have unique visuals. They will have their own talents, they will have their own traits, and they will have some special skills even. Not so for the henchmen. The henchmen have no story whatsoever. They have obviously some skills that they can use, but it's not going to be as special as your companions. With that, I hope that I explained a little bit better the difference between henchmen and companions, because if it's not clear now, I don't know how I should explain it, and then you'll just have to figure out for yourself when playing the game. But it's going to be awesome.